This video will show how to install shift boot in an Evo X GSR. This particular boot was made by Kidney Thief 13 on evo10forums.com. You can order directly from her if you're a member on that site. Included in your purchase is either a suede or regular leather shift boot and 2 small zip ties. The tools you'll need are a Phillips head screwdriver, a box cutter, and a pair of scissors. Install is extremely easy and should only take a few minutes. In our case, the aftermarket short shifter boot is already installed, but we'll fully remove it and reinstall it to better illustrate the entire install process. So, what you first want to do is unscrew your shift knob. In case you're wondering, this knob is a Blox 490 weighted shift knob. Just set that out of the way. Next, grab your box cutter and insert it here between the cubby seam and the rest of the center console. The newer Evo Xs are going to have the AWC switch in this area, so be careful not to scratch the plastic when pushing down and lifting up to pry it out. When pulling this out, there's going to be a little clip here. Just undo that and set this aside. Now, lift up the armrest with one hand, and with the other hand inserted in this new hole, just pull up. Don't tug too hard, but it's going to take a little pull. Now we can just pull this out here. We can set this piece aside. Next, remove your ashtray and place that aside. Now we've got 2 screws to take out. These 2 here. They're not that long, and careful. You don't want to drop them into the center console area there. So that removes most of this section here. But we're going to have a cigarette lighter plug back here. Just make sure to pull that out. There's also a little clip holding it in the back center. So it's going to be hard to see, but you got to push and pull that part out. So there it is. So we've got this piece out. There's some white plastic underneath with 4 screws that are holding this part in. So we're going to have to undo those as well. The 2 screws are different, so it should be pretty easy to tell them apart. Now we can pull this white plastic out. There we go. Alright, so then you can remove the shift boot from the white plastic. If you still have a stock one, you'll probably have it stapled into the white plastic, which you can just use the box cutters to take out. Before you really do anything here, take note of the boot retainer. This plasticky shiny part's going to need to be facing out. That's going to be important. So alright, let's pull this off. Now mine's got some stuff on it from some double-sided tape I was using to hold in the boot. Yours isn't going to look like that. Alright, so now we need to just invert this shift boot. Notice how the part that is going towards the inside is kind of rubbery. And we've got these zip ties holding it in place. So you can use the scissors to just get in there and clip it out. I'm not going to do that because I've already got it in there. So these are the 2 zip ties that come with your shift boot. And what you're going to want to do is just zip tie them together like this. The reason why we're using 2 is because the heads on these are nice and small. If we gave you any bigger, then the heads on them are too big and they'll create a bulge. So just fit these around the shift boot retainer with the shift boot on it and just pull them to tighten. So once you've got the zip ties secured here, you're just going to want to clip the excess on either side and flip this thing back right side out. Now this is ready to go, so just repeat the previous steps in reverse and you're going to have a nice new shift boot on your car. Okay, so when you slide the shift boot back onto this white plastic piece, you may want to align the threading to your liking, and also keep in mind that you may want to staple these back in, but the thickness of the shift boot's going to most likely hold itself in, so I don't have any problems with that. Alright, so now we're going to be putting this thing back together. Grab this part here, slide this in place. And it actually is fitting pretty snug. I'm definitely not going to need any staples on this one. So just make sure to push it in until it lines up here, and we just got to get those screws back in there. Alright, so let's get these in. They should just go right in. You don't have to worry too much about tightening them really far. Just get it till it's snug. Alright, so now we're ready to put this part back down. Don't forget to grab that plug for the lighter. Should be pretty obvious how this thing needs to fit back on. And there's that clip in the back center too. Make sure to get that in there. There we go. And this just slides right in. There we go. Alright. So, next, I'm going to grab the two screws for this, put that back in. Alright. And again, this is something where you're screwing plastic into plastic, so don't do it too hard. You just need to do it till it's snug. Alright, let's get this ashtray back in here, or in my case, a change holder. And this big center piece can go back in now. Again, that just kind of clips into place, so just line it up and push down. That's all there is to that. Next, we're going to put this little piece back in. Don't forget to clip it. And that pushes right back in. Last but definitely not least, we're going to get my knob back on there. Ready to go. Check the corners. Shouldn't be too tight. Looks like that fits great.